Hello, Kit Crowne here, your mortgage consultant for life. Today is a special 4th of July edition of Mortgage Moments, dedicated to why I think this amazing experiment in democracy we call the United States of America is, in a word, amazing. I can't think of a better way to make this point than to share some of the suitable for public consumption, and also because my mom watches these videos, bits of my journey, which serve as a proof statement for one of my favorite sayings: I love this country because everyone has a right to be wrong. Let's face it, that's a pretty profound, if modestly funny line. And it's true, right? Without taking any sides or sharp elbowing anyone's beliefs or actions, or wading into the deep end of the polemical pool, I think I can say without fear of contradiction that we'll agree that at our core we all recognize that each of us has a fundamental right to disagree with one another's point of view. I am a center of the sandwich, card-carrying baby boomer, and that means that I've witnessed some truly epic events in our nation's history. The assassinations of a president, a presidential candidate, and a civil rights pioneer, race riots that nearly burned our cities to the ground, a nuclear showdown that very nearly led to still unimaginable horrors, a war that consumed the lives of 58,220 of my peers. My peripatetic upbringing allowed me to experience our country in the heartlands of the Midwest and both of our coasts, and in the process revealed both the common character of our nation and the stark separateness of our regions. As a teen, I was swept up in a generation confused by the radical contradictions of freedom and oppression, of cathartic change and stultifying stasis, of dawning adulthood competing with establishment sensibilities. I saw the birth of my generation's music in that crucible of creativity, San Francisco. I marched in anti-war demonstrations, in civil rights protests, and cast my first anti-establishment vote in the presidential election of 1972. I wore Che Guevara t-shirts in anticipation of a coming people's revolution. I thought the Black Panthers were cool. I reviled Mayor Daley for his oppression during the 1968 Democratic Convention. I yielded no ground to those who disagreed. In my version of America, you only had the right to see things my way. I'm not going to tell you that I grew up or had an epiphany or suddenly saw a new shining star on the horizon, but I did come to believe that the best way to effect the changes I believed in was to become part of the very system I protested against. Over the years, I've dedicated 16 years to my community on boards and commissions, on town council, even on the library board of trustees, a lifetime appointment from which I was fired for having the temerity to voice a contrarian point of view. I've been called a Nazi by a political opponent, seen personal gain triumph over social benefit in smoke-free back rooms, and petty grievances trump honest service to my community. And somewhere along that journey, I came to the realization that first among all of my rights as an American, I cherish my right to be wrong about so many things. And I love the fact that every person who disagreed with me across decades of debate did so with the same flag clenched in their fists that I wrapped myself in. Yes, I love every single one of those fools for shouting and clamoring and fighting and swearing and stubbornly sticking to their wrong-headed notions. We are no more or less quarrelsome or uncivil than we were 243 years ago. America's passionate discourse is a volcano in perpetual eruption. Heck, Thomas Jefferson hired a political consultant to smear his rival, John Adams, calling him a hermaphroditic character, to which Adams replied that Jefferson was a low-lived person. Later in the 1800s, a politician handed out broadsheets declaring that people shouldn't vote for his opponent because he was dead. The point here is that while we may feel oppressed by opinions we hold in disgust, this is our national creed, tucked neatly into our Constitution and vigorously exercised over these nearly 2.5 centuries. As you celebrate this 243rd anniversary of the founding of our great nation, let us all agree on one thing: for all our faults and all that needs to be done to achieve our vision our forefathers had for us, We are truly one nation that shares a singular belief that everyone has a right to be wrong. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. And remember always that I'm here every day to help solve the problems that living life on life's terms sends your way. Keep my number close by so that you can reach me anytime you need my help, or anytime someone you care about needs someone who will care about them as much as I care about you. See you next week.